Hello, friends. Our first big vacation after Harvey's diagnosis with Alzheimer's disease was a week-long rafting trip down the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon. This was a bucket list trip for us, and I knew we had to make it soon after Harvey's diagnosis while he was still able to. It was still pretty difficult for him and for the rest of our family for many reasons, but it was a great trip and a great adventure for all of us. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's, a memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. So we made this trip about a year and a half after Harvey's initial diagnosis. And the rafts that are used are huge. They're not your typical 6-man raft that we were used to. They're really big rafts, and they were manned by one oarsman on the stern. And the rest of us really didn't have to help much except in really bad rapids where we were given paddles and instructed how to raft. But mostly we were able just to float like royalty down the river. When there were pools of more calm water, it was fun just to jump out, swim around, or even have a water cannon fight among the different rafts. In one such calm area, when we were just gently floating down the river, I noticed a hummingbird just flitting around, and she eventually came to rest right beside Harvey, who was sitting on the stern of the raft. Harvey didn't notice her at first, but I got his attention, and they just sat quietly together for about 3 minutes before she flew off. Now, I haven't had much success with hummingbirds at my house, and in fact, I've given up on even putting out a hummingbird feeder. But my parents do, and they have a steady stream of hummingbird visitors all summer long, and it's so fun to watch them buzz around and drink the nectar. I recently purchased a new lake house, and my first day there was a hummingbird just buzzing around the deck. There were no flowers around, and the previous owner said that he hadn't put out a feeder. So I don't know what that hummingbird was doing there when I hadn't seen one in my own house for 4 years. Well, my second visit down, I took my hummingbird feeder and filled it and hung it, and within an hour, there was a hummingbird. I hung it just about 8 feet away from my favorite spot where I sit and read or write, and I was actually writing the first draft of this blog post when the hummingbird showed up. And she just flitted around a bit, took a sip, and buzzed off. She came back a few minutes later and perched and drank for 2 solid minutes. The hummingbird carries a lot of symbolism. Joy, agility, sweetness, good luck, beauty are all associated with the hummingbird. But the symbol that I resonate with most is that of divine messenger, one who gently nudges us to accept that certain lives or things or people in our lives have moved on. And I like to think that that little hummingbird who sat beside Harvey going down the Colorado River was there to assure him that it was okay and it was time to put his past life behind him and move on into the next stage of his life. Another symbol of the hummingbird is infinity, because they can beat their wings in a figure 8 symbol, which is also a symbol of infinity. So my little messenger on Monday, I believe, was sending me a message that it was okay to move forward in my life and that Harvey will always be with me. Thank you. Be well and keep your balance.